Job on the weather. See you guys come out for one practice.
Yeah.
Screw it all up.
Are you going to invite us back again?
No, never.
Was that a change in policy that the less than for the first 10 minutes, or is that just being nice?
Not a change in policy, and I don't know if I'm that nice, but no, it was start of the spring kind of a deal, and we out there for 10 minutes, and then you guys let it start raining and lightning and thunder, so we had to go inside. But yeah, hopefully, got some good shots.
How would you characterize this first day versus other first days you've run here?
Good. It was, in conservative terms, the best. But I think just in terms of, schematically being that much further along and kind of putting a little bit more on some of the players. I thought again, as a first day, our attitude were excellent. I think probably across the country you're going to find 100 and however many guys are going to say that. Again, we just talk every single day about better. And if we can continue to improve on all the things that we talked about at the end of practice and throughout practice, we'll be in good shape.
What are those things that you really want to work on and improve this spring?
Oh, there's a million things. I think generically, blocking and tackling. Blocking and tackling have to be better on both sides of the ball, and in special teams in that regard. On both sides of the ball, there's some leadership boards that a bunch of probably all-time kind of guys left on both sides in that regard. And those voices have already risen up, and the credibility both in the weight room and on the practice field has already shown. And so that's an encouraging sign. And then there's 10,000 little things, and a lot of them are me getting better.
That leadership, is that something you try to manufacture yourself, or is that player-based?
It has to be player-based. You can simulate and create situations for leaders to arise, but you can't fake it. That's something that those guys know immediately. If you anoint somebody a leader that's not a leader, that doesn't have credibility, that's fake. And so that's something that just has to happen.
Who's stepping up for you in that role?
DeForest Buckner has been great. Jeff Locke has been great. I've noticed a bunch of receivers talking, doing some good things. We have another situation where we have a lot of great guys that are quiet by nature. And Royce Freeman's a great example. Royce Freeman goes in that category of you can't manufacture it, but when that guy shows up, just how he works, his one-on-one character is outstanding. All the interactions he has are great, and now he just needs to influence more people. Rodney Hardrick has always done a good job. Defensive back is a place where there's a lot of competition, and those guys are coaching each other up well without a true leader stepping up right now, and that's fine.
What goes into the decision to use a guy like Charles that you beat?
Yeah, just trying to create some competition. I think Charles is a guy intellectually and football-wise, he's a very, very smart kid, and he could move back and not miss too many beats, which is not normal. And just his skill set and his attitude was tremendous. And when you start to talk to a guy about a position change, a lot of times it's, well, yeah, I'll do it. But in his case, it's, yep, I'm in. And he's a great teammate and loves to compete and run and hit. And so we'll see.
Darren, must have been nice to have
out there running around today. Is there any clarity you know about how long that help really might last?
We don't have any clarity. No, that's kind of something that will be ongoing, behind the scenes. And if we do ever get any clarity, we'll probably announce that. Yeah.
Good to see Braylon Addison back out there again today.
Yeah, we had a bunch of guys. They were back out there for the first time, unfortunately, after some guys. Tyler Johnston was another guy that I should have mentioned in terms of being a vocal leader. He was another guy that was back out there. But yeah, definitely some rust on some of those guys, but it was enthusiastic rust.
Are you guys cautious with the workload those guys have?
Absolutely. And Charles is another guy that we have to be conscious of, because if it was his choice, he would play every snap on both sides of the ball on every special team. And I was talking to a couple of the sports medicine people and Rad afterward of Charles is like Keenan though. Keenan, didn't want to take one rep off, and he's a guy that you have to pull back on, and that's a good thing.
Would you like to have a pecking order quarterback coming out of the spring, or would you prefer to have a five-way tie?
5 ways too many. Yeah, I don't think we'll have a 5-way. I've never seen a 5-way. That'd be interesting. That stuff just kind of happens. I think again you can't fabricate it, but you can certainly put those guys. You want to put them kind of at the same time in a generic, set of plays and that kind of situation, but you also want to put them in absolutely what they do best and have the most confidence in, and that's where you just kind of, throughout the spring, throughout fall camp, that will play itself out.
Talk about knocking off the rust. How about for the staff itself? Any changes in how you organize practices, how you divvy up responsibilities, how you follow all of the kids?
We're doing a few things differently, going back to the blocking and tackling kind of emphasis of making sure every coach touches every player. And so if I'm on offense and defense, so if I'm the defensive back coach, a couple times I'm coaching the linebackers or the front, and a lot of that is carryover, not only defensively, making sure everybody's hearing the same terminology the same way, teaching the same thing the same way, but a lot of that carries over to special teams as well.
Anybody you're excited to look at based on their off-season work?
AJ Jacobs.
Well, yeah.
Anybody I'm excited to look at? Obviously I was excited to see Charles and Ugo out there for the first time today, and they both did some really good things, and they both at times looked like it was their first day. A bunch of the wideouts, again, some really great things and some things that we need to improve upon. But we'll go back and watch the film here in a second.
What does it cut Braylon back as one of the leaders on offense? Cut Braylon back?
He's one of the guys out there. He's out there working, I think his role will be established as he demonstrates it on the field, just like anybody else.
You mentioned hockey.
Ladies and gentlemen, not to cut this short, but we've got others here who requested, and they're not going to stay
You mentioned
forever.
hockey, and I saw him at the end of practice helping some of the other guys teach them the drills. What's he like? How's he handling the competition and taking over that?
He's been awesome. He did some really good things today. He threw the ball really well. His biggest thing is just being himself. He's a great teammate. I think that's been something that we tried to foster at that position all the time. You never know who's going to be in there next. And you want them to be as prepared, better than you. And the biggest thing with him is just staying within himself. He had a bunch of drops today on great throws. And then try to do something not really in the mix or in his wheelhouse once, and that just doesn't need to do that. Just be himself. But he did a great job today.